Everything changed. You think Malayalam cinema was so good in 2005?
No, of course not.
There was a bad period, no?
Yeah.
8, 9 years or 10 years, longer than that maybe. Every cinema, Tamil cinema had a longer bad period. So you have to go through a bad period. These are the dark times for cinema, for Hindi cinema. We'll go through shit to find gold. I'm telling you, this is what I keep saying. We have to go to rock bottom. We'll go through shit to find gold. Everybody's bloated heads and egos will have to blast.
For much of its history, Malayalam cinema has existed at the periphery of Indian cinema and was overshadowed by the blitz of Bollywood movies and by those star-studded spectacles of Tamil and Telugu industries. Previously dubbed as Pettikada Wood in a dismissive way, it was largely considered a regional industry with limited reach. But this underestimation ignored the profound cultural and intellectual bedrock of Kerala, which would become the cornerstone of Malayalam cinema's rise. Now, Kerala, with a literacy rate of 94%, is home to a population that is deeply rooted in literature, drama, and music. But we do need to understand that this literacy does not symbolizes or equates to elitism. It signifies a cultivated openness to varied and new worlds of thought, which are both local and global. Now, this foundation has allowed Malayalam audiences to approach cinema with an appetite for depth, nuance, and innovation. Even Anurag Kashyap, in his recent interview with the Hollywood Reporter India, which by the way was really well conducted by Vishal, so kudos to him, he has mentioned the culture of film clubs in the state, and the audience in Kerala is discerning not because of some innate superiority, but because their exposure to literature, cinema clubs, and traveling film circuits has prepared them to embrace experimentation in storytelling. It's not about education, it is basically a systematic nurturing of arts that has taken place over decades. Now, indeed, the connection between literature and Malayalam cinema is inseparable. Adaptations of celebrated works like Chemin on T.S. Pillai's novel and Oru Vadakkan Veeragada, scripted by M.T. Vasudevan Nair, brought Kerala's literacy depth to the silver screen. These films not only reflected the cultural ethos of the region but also set the bar high for narrative integrity. Therefore, cinema in Kerala grew not just as a medium of entertainment but also as an intellectual extension of its literary heritage. In the 1980s, often considered the golden age of Malayalam cinema, filmmakers like Padmarajan, Bharathan, and Adur Gopalakrishnan broke new ground by seamlessly blending art house sensibilities with mainstream appeal. Films such as Elipattayam and Kadara explored complex human emotions and societal issues, earning both critical acclaim and audience appreciation. However, the industry faced a downturn in the late 1990s and the early 2000s, which is often referred to as the dark age of Malayalam cinema. This narrative richness began to falter under the weight of the superstar system. The industry, influenced by the mass market success of Tamil and Telugu films, leaned heavily on the star power of actors like Mohanlal and Mammootty. Scripts became vehicles of larger-than-life personas instead of focusing on grounded storytelling. While this era produced commercial hits like Aram Tamburan, it also alienated the discerning audience who yearned for stories that reflect real-life struggles and complexities. But Kerala's deep-rooted film society culture quietly countered this commercial downturn. Since the establishment of groups like the Chitralekha Film Society in the 1960s, Malayalis were introduced to the cinematic artistry of Bergman, Kurosawa, Tarkovsky, and of course, Satyajit Ray. These influences shaped a collective cinematic consciousness, fostering a generation of filmmakers who were not afraid to challenge conventions. As Kashyap said, that Malayalam filmmakers take global influences and localize them so seamlessly that they create an entirely unique cinematic language. Therefore, the events like the International Film Festival of Kerala have exposed viewers to diverse cinematic traditions, fostering a culture of critical appreciation of the art form, and this deep engagement ensures that the audience remains active participants in the cinematic discourse rather than just being mere consumers of movies. The early 2010s marked a renaissance period for Malayalam cinema, ushering in a bold and innovative chapter that reshaped the industry. The new generation movement emerged as a response to the stagnation of formulaic storytelling, with trailblazing filmmakers such as Amal Neerad and Ashik Abu leading the charge. These directors infused Malayalam cinema with contemporary sensibilities, weaving narratives that were deeply rooted in the Malayali culture, yet unafraid to adopt global cinematic techniques. Films like Traffic and Chapa Karisha showcased intertwining lives, urban dilemmas, and moral complexities, breaking free from the traditional hero-centric narratives of the past. Now, this movement was not just about the themes, it also deconstructed the entrenched superstar system that had dominated the industry for decades. While veterans like Mammootty and Mohanlal remained significant, their presence in experimental projects like Nanpagal Nerathumayakam, Pudu, Ner, Kadal the Core highlighted a shift in focus towards narrative depth rather than mere star power. The focus shifted toward ensemble-driven storytelling and relatable characters. For instance, Fahad Fasil's transformative performance in Tondi Muthalam Drikshaksham and Joji revealed a new kind of leading man, one flawed, vulnerable, and achingly human. Similarly, Parvati's fearless portrayal of a survival in Uyare highlighted the power of female narratives. Dulquer Salmaan came up to the foray as well. Moreover, the movement championed the exploration of gender dynamics. Films such as The Great Indian Kitchen dealt with patriarchy with razor-sharp precision, while 22FK and How Old Are You celebrated women reclaiming agency in the face of societal norms. These films sparked critical conversations about gender, representation, and the evolving roles of women in cinema and society at large. But the pandemic in 2020, which was devastatingly global, actually helped Malayalam cinema to pivot and elevate it from a respectable regional industry to a mainstream player with national and international recognition. This transformative phase was driven by the convergence of several factors, which include the rise of streaming platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime, shifting of audience perceptions, and the ability of Malayalam filmmakers to adapt creatively and economically to the constraints of the pandemic. Now, 2024 stands as a landmark year for Malayalam cinema, celebrated by its record-breaking success, critical acclaim, and newfound pan-India discourse, which is a culmination of years of bold creativity and narrative innovation. The industry has soared to new financial heights, making almost 1,000 crores, which is a feat that eclipsed the combined collection of 2022 and 2023. This success has not only tripled Malayalam cinema's contribution to Indian box office, which accounts for 15% of the national market share, but also this success was not confined to a single blockbuster, but it was spread across a diverse range of films, and each of them have contributed to this golden chapter that we have witnessed in 2024. Now, at the heart of this remarkable year were films like Manumal Boys and Aadu Jeevitham, both of them crossing a 100 crore milestone. Aadu Jeevitham, a survival drama based on Benjamin's novel, delivered a harrowing yet profoundly moving tale of human endurance, while Manumal Boys, with its adventurous storytelling and even incorporating Tamil cultural references, found an appeal across state boundaries. Meanwhile, Brahmayugam, a folk horror masterpiece, and Premalu, which is a heartfelt romantic drama, showcased the industry's ability to blend commercial success with creative integrity. Now, what has been the most interesting thing is how films across different genres have been served to the audience, from action comedy films like Avesham to brutal action films like Marco, adding adrenaline-pumping excitement. Moreover, the industry boldly embraced experimental cinema with films like Gaganachari, which is a sci-fi mockumentary exploring dystopian Kerala, and Paloti 90s Kids, a nostalgic exploration of childhood becoming sleeper hits. Even political satire like Oru Sarkar Ulpannam found its place. Women-centric films like Ulodokudu, starring Parvati, and Sukshma Darshini, featuring Nazriya Nazim, not only elevated the scope of representation but also redefined the women's narratives in Indian cinema. Now, despite the triumphs of 2024, Malayalam cinema's foundation revealed some cracks that could no longer be ignored. Financially, the year painted a troubling picture. Out of the 199 theatrical releases, only 26 managed to turn into a profit, leaving the industry with an estimated loss of 700 crores. Now, the oversaturation of content and the sheer volume of releases diluted the audience engagement, highlighting the need for a strategic curation. But financial woes were only the tip of the iceberg, because the release of the long-suppressed Hema Committee report laid bare the systematic misogyny and exploitation within the industry, detailing harrowing accounts of sexual harassment, exclusionary practices, and entrenched power dynamics. The report shook the industry to its core. The resignation of Mohanlal as the president of the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists symbolizes the gravity of the situation, yet questions about accountability and reforms remain unanswered. The Women in Cinema Collective, a vocal advocate for change, found renewed public support. However, structural inertia and resistance to change hindered meaningful progress. For instance, while many celebrated bold films like The Great Indian Kitchen for exposing patriarchal oppression, the systematic changes needed to create safer working environments for women remained elusive. Therefore, Malayalam cinema stood at a crossroad. It faced the dual challenge of rebuilding trust amongst its audience and creating an equitable ecosystem for its talent. Yet, even amidst these adversities, the industry has leaned toward 2025 with the hope and ambition. As Malayalam cinema moves to 2025, it carries the weight of its past successes and the responsibility of addressing its shortcomings. This year promises to be a blend of big-budget spectacles, innovative indie films, and venturing into uncharted territories. Among the most anticipated releases is L2 Empuran, the sequel of Lucifer, with Mohanlal reprising his role as Stephen Nedumpally. Equally ambitious is Jambi, a zombie thriller directed by George Kura, signaling the industry's foray into post-apocalyptic narratives. Streaming platforms are also set to play a transformative role. Nivin Pauli's web series debut Pharma and the second season of Kerala Crime Files showcase the industry's growing digital footprint. Meanwhile, genre-bending experiments like Manjeswaram Mafia, which is a zombie actioner, and Painkili, which is a romantic fantasy, highlight the willingness to embrace bold and unconventional storytelling. These projects prove how the industry is leveraging new mediums to reach global audiences, as seen previously with Minnal Murli that resonated internationally. But as the industry prepares for another year of creative ambition, it also must confront lingering challenges of workplace equity and more sustainable business models for its movies. Yet, if 2024 proved anything, it was that Malayalam cinema thrives on resilience, creativity, and unwavering commitment to telling the best stories. We are waiting for 2025 as the industry is poised to write the next chapter, and it might just redefine the legacy of Indian cinema on the global stage. So that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts, and also let me know which were your favorite Malayalam films of 2024 and which are the films that you are looking forward to in 2025 from Malayalam cinema. Till then, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, long live cinema.